Hi, I'm Pastor Young, the pastor of the Cross located in Tyler, Texas. And again, I would like to say thank you for taking time for the word. I realize that you're busy, and I know that this is just going to be a brief time, but it's so important to me. And I want to say thank you so much for taking enough time to view this. I wanted to make this available for some of our church folk that are unable to attend Bible study because of work or sickness or just busy schedules. And I believe that this can also be a blessing to you. And so you're more than welcome to use this as a resource to sharing your faith. This past week, we continued in our series entitled the Grown Folk Faith Series, where I believe it'd be a blessing for us all because we all should want to mature in the faith. Amazingly, life and life's challenges often lead us to a point where we become frustrated with ourselves, and unfortunately, many people become frustrated with God and God's people. There's no greater text I believe we could look at than the book of Acts as a source to see how God's people, the early church, responded when they were experiencing adversity. This past week, we looked at Acts 12 as we looked at an individual named Peter who happened to be in a very bad condition. He was chained, he was put in prison. The expectation was King Herod was going to bring him out as a in a public trial and put him on public display. He was guarded by soldiers. He was even hemmed in by soldiers because there were soldiers placed at the entryway with a hope of keeping him from escaping. Have you ever been at that place where it seemed as if there was no escape from something? The amazing thing in this text, it gives us some good news. In spite of how bad it is, in spite of how permanent it seems it is, God can move suddenly. Now, that should not only be encouraging to you, but it should be encouraging enough for you to share with someone that may be experiencing such a dark moment that it seems there is no escape. Trust me when I tell you, God can respond suddenly. I want to encourage you to look at Acts 12 and look at how God was able to send an angel to let Peter know that he was free, even led him out beyond the guards. God does things and he does things well. Well, it was so amazing to Peter, he couldn't even imagine it. And I imagine that you know people that you can see that God has set them free, or God has changed them, or God has moved, but yet it is hard for them to believe that it's been done. When Peter realized that, verse 12 in chapter 12 says, when it dawned on him, when he realized that the Lord had set him free, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, also called Mark, where many people had gathered and were praying. He went to the house of prayer. And I would like for you to encourage those that are in your immediate surroundings that have experienced change to make their way back to the house of prayer. Once Peter got there, once they let him in, the text says he motioned his hands and he described what the Lord had done. If he has set you free, have you told anyone how the Lord has moved in your life? If you have not, I want to encourage you to do that this week. Find you some believers and tell them how the Lord has brought you out. Well, again, I want to say thank you for joining us. My hope and prayer is that you will make this a light unto your feet and a lamp unto your path. May you live a blessed week, and may God bless you real good.